Welcome back. The South African Revenue Service workers have been marching today and have now handed over a memorandum of demands to Treasury. They want a 12% wage increase, but the employer has refused to pay them that much. The protest could affect tax collection, we're hearing, at some SARS branches in the country. Let's talk about the situation with the Public Servants Association's Provincial Manager, Claude Naicker. Claude, welcome to Daytime Update. Thank you for your time. So you are asking for 7% plus CPI, right? The employer, which is SARS, says, well, it cannot afford to pay you that much. Is there a compromise position in mind?
Well, we're hoping, a very good afternoon to you, we're hoping there would be a compromise situation. As you've noticed, our employees have taken to the streets because we have declared a dispute. I think this must be taken against the backdrop that SARS has followed suit, just like the rest of the public sector, where we had a 3-year agreement in place and they failed to honor last year's agreement where employees were due for a 6.9% increase and they only got 3.9% increase itself. So apart from not paying the full salaries that were due to them last year, this year, when we had sent in our demands, the response was a very clear saying 0% offer that they can offer on the table. This prompted us obviously to declare dispute after numerous talks with the revenue services. Nothing came of these talks, and this we declared a dispute, and that's why our members on the street at the moment itself.
And how did you come to the 12% demand? Why would 12% be what you feel makes things better for your members at SARS?
Look, a lot of talk has been said, looking at the economic climate, how can you possibly ask for 12%? As I said, bearing in mind that they didn't get the full increase last year, the cost of electricity, the cost of basic goods, the cost of a whole lot of stuff that we've taken into account, and proper research being done. This is the figure that we've actually come up with, was CPI plus 7%, and we felt that it was a decent enough call for a wage increase to get our members through this tough economic times itself. But obviously SARS doesn't see that, and one must also remember it was widely publicized that our workers at SARS had worked tirelessly to actually try and get the revenue up for the country, and they've managed to achieve that, but nothing has come of the efforts, and a point blank 0% offer from the state itself.
So SARS says...
As talks continue, they have come up with an offer which we have sent to our members, which they are currently considering itself. Basically, it's savings that they've generated from last year, where they've decided that they will offer a once-off sort of bonus with the savings they generated last year. And they've allocated in the region of 70 million for this year, which amounts to just over a percentage increase. We've offered that to our members. Whilst our members are busy on the street, whilst we're having meetings, we're getting a mandate from them whether to accept this offer or not.
And as things stand, how long are you looking to keep the street action going as a means to put pressure on SARS to basically offer more money or ultimately give you what you are demanding?
I think they need to come to the party. By offering a 0% increase is like a slap in the face. You've not made any effort to come up with a more tangible offer. History have shown you what we demand. We never set out to achieve that at the end of the day. But I think workers are also reasonable, that if you come up with a reasonable offer and we take it back to our members and explain the position itself, they are amenable, they are able to listen and say to us, listen, I think under the circumstances, this could be the best offer. But at the moment, what's sitting on the table is just not sitting well with our members itself.
Are your members,
we're going to continue.
Are your members willing to stay on the streets indefinitely?
At the moment, the way we've started off and the anger and the frustration that we've experienced out on the street, I think we're in for a long haul if SARS doesn't come to the party and make a tangible offer.
And they've said, SARS, in their communication on the issue, that they're unable to pay salary increases because, as things stand, they were not given any money to be able to make provision for salary increases from the budget. Today, we've seen a demonstration, a memorandum handed over to National Treasury. What do you want Treasury specifically to do?
SARS is an employer. That is an employer that we deal with. That is an employer that we negotiate with at the bargaining chamber. How they conduct the business with National Treasury obviously It's their undertaking. They should have foreseen that it's time for wage negotiation. Once we've made our demands, then they come to us and tell us, listen, the Treasury has never allocated anything itself, and they are seeking assistance from Treasury. Surely you should have known that it's time for wage negotiations. All these preliminaries that you need to put in place should have been done a long time ago itself. But when we start with negotiations and then you come and tell us that the Treasury has not allocated anything, how do we take this back to our members? Surely they're going to be frustrated on this. I think they need to work tirelessly. They need to make more effort and come up with the funds, at least a tangible offer that we can take to our members and say, listen, this is what we've got. Can you kindly consider this?
So if your members stay on strike tomorrow onwards, right, and indefinitely at this stage until perhaps the 7-day window lapses, which you've given SARS and Treasury to respond to your demands, what impact is that going to have on SARS services countrywide?
I think they're fully aware that the impact it's going to have, because when we had given notice for strike action, it then prompted them to get into action and says, listen, we have 500 million, 430 of that is generated from savings from last year, and the 70 million we can allocate for this year. Surely that should have been brought to the table when we started with negotiations. It's only when we had given notice of strike action then you want to come with alternatives. So I think it's also bad faith negotiation on behalf of SARS. And looking at the frustration of members, I think that they will prompt it. They will want to stay on the streets as long as possible. There is a sacrifice that we make, unfortunately, in collective bargaining. This is a sacrifice that we need to make in order to achieve something at the end of the day. We're hoping, we've prayed and we've hoped, and we've on numerous occasions told to SARS, come up with something that we don't want to see our members on strike. We don't want to see them on the street. Come up with something tangible that we can work with and we can negotiate. It's a matter of give and take, and I'm sure if there's more effort from SARS, we can come to some sort of settlements.
Claude Naicker, thank you very much for your time.